flowers and my astro say hello on this beautiful day here in Costa Rica. The sun is shining, beautiful blue skies, so many flowers right now on the property. So anyway, hello. Back to the point of this video. I am super excited to announce officially, which I haven't been able to do because now we've officially begun. I have partnered with Airbnb to host an Airbnb experience here in Vasconia of Parita of Costa Rica, a tour of my food forest that I've been painstakingly, through blood, sweat, and not many tears of joy, I would say, working for the past 5 years. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of that journey today, an example of what I do with the tourists that come, the visitors to Costa Rica or from Costa Rica that want to explore a agroforest. That said, this is kind of where we start. I had my first one recently. It's now February of 2026, and they just began this month. And I was lucky and blessed enough that Airbnb sent a photographer. Ignacio, thank you for your presence and your experience and your guidance and your feedback and also your expertise and beautiful photos that you've taken, which we will feature in just a moment. Let me just do this tour first, and then after I finish, I'm going to upload some of the photos, and you can see some of the high quality photos that are going to be used on my site for the Airbnb experience itself. And what's really nice from Airbnb is that Ignacio is going to be sharing these photos with me so I can put all over my social media, and also with the visitors that we had, because it just so happened to align that I didn't have to get friends and neighbors to come act for the photos. I had my actual first tour when Ignacio was here. So thank you to the family that was here. I appreciate you, and you guys, they will also be getting the photos at no extra cost of the tour, and they'll get to capture these memories of them first experiencing some of these fruits and witnessing, a Costa Rican food forest for the first time. And I'll give a little background on that family. They are from New York State, and they also, are kind of a garden type of human, and they have their own garden and their own chickens there in upstate New York. And it was nice nostalgia because I'm from northern New Jersey, right on the border of upstate New York. So we had a familiarity, and the universe sent me the perfect people for the first trip, and everything was very aligned. And I have many more booked already, and the photos that you're going to see are going to help market it to get people more interested in coming here as well. But anyway, maybe this video will do the same. So if you stumble across this and you're planning to visit Costa Rica and you're near the Central Pacific coast, check out my Airbnb link in the description, or just reach out to me directly on social media at The Jungle Temple, either on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we will set it up. Anyway, that said, a little preface of this for anybody that is visiting and for this video itself. Every month here in Costa Rica, we have different fruits that are available, different flowers that are flowering, and depending on the season, there's going to be a greater abundance of certain fruits rather than others. So you'll see what I have today, which is a little bit limited because many of the trees right now are flowering and they have little baby buds of the fruits growing because we just entered summer about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So they will be absorbing all of this sunlight after many months of rain. And then probably around March and April is when we get the most abundant fruit, the avocados, the water apples, the mangoes, things like that. So anyway, that said, here you can see I have an orange, yellowish bird of paradise that's growing on the side of this walkway. And above me, as I step into the shade, which was done intentionally, is a tunnel created by this acerola cherry tree. And then flanked on the other side by the birds of paradise. So this is the idea that I've had all over my property, and you'll see behind me along all the walkways, I've got birds of paradise and fruit trees intermingled so that over the next couple years, anybody that visits will have this same experience of walking through tunnels of flowers and fruits. I'm doing my best to walk backwards, stumbling a little bit because I cannot see because of the glare of this beautiful Costa Rican sun today. As we continue around, many of the fruit trees you've seen in past videos, avocado, guava. Here I have a baby lychee growing. There's a jaboticaba, a pomegranate, an avocado here. So many trees coming along, and as you'll see, we're flanked with many ornamentals, many flowers like you saw earlier, that beautiful purple. We've got this pink pollinator that draws in a lot of the hummingbirds, colibris, and then a lot of ornamentals and flowers integrated, many different colors. So this is going to be a light yellow, this is going to be a darker, bolder yellow. This is a bird of paradise that's going to come up looking almost like this one in there. So I have most of the walkways at this point flanked with ornamentals and flowers, and then obviously fruit trees in. And here you get a chance to see my little vivero. I've got custard apple, mango, guanabana. They call it mora. It's kind of like a blackberry, mulberry. Pomegranate. I'm not going to go through everything, but caimito, cacao, tabacon. This is a little pomegranate tree planted in the ground. This is another beautiful flower here. Cool looking plant. And then the flower is really beautiful and has a perfume-like essence that a lot of people say smells a lot like manzana de agua when you're eating them. So anyway, we've got bigger cacao trees here. And then the rest of my nursery all along, everything from ayahuasca to avocado to jackfruit, spinach, gotu kola. Oh, I've got a number of things. Vanilla, eucalyptus, many things there. But anyway, that's not part of the tour formally. Let's get back into this. So here we are walking through, again, more of this tunnel that I'm creating. So there's a cacao here. We've got some beautiful flowers here. Over my shoulder is a mangosteen as I continue back and trying not to walk into everything. Trying a new effect. I don't see anybody walking backwards on YouTube. So here I am, a pioneer. Coconut, some cool flowering being over here. And as you see, we get into the shade that was non-existent when I first bought this land because everything was just grass. So caviar lime, caimito, another guanabana, and blue java bananas. So I'm literally filling up this whole property with these kind of carved out walkways from the trees that didn't exist. As we walk back, we get into my little coffee farm here. This is a canela or cinnamon tree. So in case you're not aware, a cinnamon tree is harvested by slicing the bark and peeling it off all the way around and then drying that, and that becomes cinnamon as we know it. So there's actually, it's not the surface layer that you use, it's the layer just beneath it. So you just scrape off the surface, peel that off, and then you go a couple layers deep, and that's the cinnamon stick that you normally see in a store after it's been dried. So people will walk in, they'll have access to any oranges that are available. There's a couple growing. You can see one up here right now. So we're almost in orange season. If you guys are coming in the first few months, let's say second quarter of 2026, we're gonna have a lot of oranges. This is my little coffee plantation. As you can see, some of the leaves are drying, but what's nice is these little buds, flowers, are going to turn into fruits soon. And as you can see, we have abundant on every tree, even the smaller ones, or every bush. And we've got a lot of the buds coming in, flowers, which will soon be little cherries and fruits. So I walk people down, they can grab an orange, try that. I'll slice it open with my little pocket knife, my little hunting knife, and we're walking through the coffee and we come up to the moringa tree. So this is growing a lot of moringa, but also the leafcutter ants love this one. So they'll strip this, and then a couple weeks later, it will start to grow back abundantly again. And then we walk everybody over. You can see I've started to build flank on each side, ornamentals, birds of paradise on each side. There's a couple other types of bushes and fruit trees intermingled. I got another guanabana there. But I walk people through some ice cream bananas, and we can go into the little riverbed here that's dry right now, the little quebrada, the brook, and you can see all the dried coconuts, and that's what I use for the coconut meat. My island, some beautiful flowers here. Look at these guys. Aren't these so nice? So again, these are something that I've just relocated. I found a couple of them growing somewhere on the property. And then what I'll do is you take these little baby ones, right? And you could snap them off, and they have the roots start to grow the flower. And then I'll just relocate this, and I don't even need to plant it. For example, I'll just walk it over here and just throw it down there. And those roots will find their way into the soil. In a couple of years, those will be growing just like that big one that you saw. Here we go over my shoulder. We got some ice cream bananas. Got a beautiful flower on it, which is edible as well. And then the ice cream or blue Java bananas that will soon be ready to harvest in a couple of weeks. And now I'm walking forward again. I'm changing dimensions. Another set of blue Java bananas growing. We walk through another little cinnamon tree. More bananas. More bananas, so many bananas. So if anybody wants blue Java bananas, everybody that comes for a tour definitely gets these at all times of the year. But if you're watching this video and you live near me in Costa Rica, let me know. I've got a ton of blue Java bananas, probably every week, 300 to 400. Plenty available. Avocado tree. Walking through another type of birds of paradise or bird of paradise. Very beautiful. I love this one. Pretty, pretty. I think I have 5 varieties of the birds of paradise. Going back to backwards walking. We've got a shaded cacao tree here. So I've learned they seem to like the sun better, but again, this one's only 3 years old, so it's doing pretty well anyway in the shade of this giant mango tree, which in a few moments I'll show you a lot of the flowers of. So anyway, this is the way the tour is going. You can look at the back of my head maybe. All right, here we have Quadrado plantains. These are a very sweet, smaller, squared version of a plantain. Got my little bamboo forest to prevent erosion when the water gets high. A couple of Costa Rican cast trees. We bring people through here. You can see some baby fruits growing. They're not quite ready yet, but in a couple of months they will be. So we've got little babies here coming in. And this is a Costa Rican guava native to this area. A lot of people love it. And then I'm gonna run over to the Manzana de Agua because there's no fruits yet, but it just finished flowering and we've got some babies. So as I step under these giant water apple trees, which you've seen before in other videos, you can see up on the trees, we're starting to get little baby fruits post-flowering. Here they are, and as you can see, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands on each of these big 4 trees here. I'm just gonna walk through a little more. I've cut everything down so it's super easy to harvest. So these are like 4 feet off the ground. Just a ton of fruits coming in. And each tree, so I'm at now tree number 3, all of those little buds, those little bell-shaped looking things are gonna become fruit soon on each of these trees. So we've got tens of thousands every year probably. And then from there, I take people back, not running, we walk on the tour all the way over here. This is my training for soccer. A bunch of baby trees planted throughout here, yucca, cacao. All right, now we're back in the shade. And you can see all the little baby mangoes coming in from what was once these flowers are now becoming, look at those little baby mangoes. In several weeks or a couple of months, tens of thousands of mangoes here too. That's no exaggeration. Definitely in the thousands. The water apples are definitely in the tens of thousands. And yeah, just very grateful. Now one of my favorite trees. Back in a shaded area. This is an avocado that was planted right before I moved here actually. So it was just a baby when I first got here. Now it's fully grown and fruiting, and I've been pruning the top parts off so that it fruits more. Let me see if we can find some baby avocados that are growing, because there are a couple dozen. They're just hard to spot because they're little babies. I think you can see there's one right up there. They're dispersed all throughout. You'll probably see them better than I can spot them. Yep, there's another one here. So they're starting to grow. I'll have a bunch of them soon. And future tours will get to consume them. So it's exciting for people to come. This had so many fruits on it. Oh, it still does, look. This is the kaimito, or star apple fruit. You see all these guys? So when this is ripe, it will turn purple. Let me see if I can find any of those on the tree right now. Just had thousands of these, you can tell, because they're all over the grounds now, fermenting. Literally thousands. These turn into an odorific thing that has like a wine type smell to it. So I imagine at some point in the future, when I have the restaurant, we'll be offering a kaimito wine or liqueur made in home. So this one's starting to turn purple a little bit, ever so slightly. A couple more days and that's going to be a big purple one. I don't see any. I think they're all ripened already and they've dropped. Oh, no, correction. They're a little bit high for me, but you can see them here. There's the purple ones. Let me see if I can get one for you. We'll open this up. All right. So that's what the kaimito looks like on the inside. Really delicious, really nutritious, very odorific, amazing. Star apple, or kaimito. Okay. And I just take people on a quick turn into my little interior property here, closer to my house, in which I have a couple cacao trees. These bushes are growing a ton of dragon fruit, and you'll see I have some things planted in here. This is going to be a mango tree that I treat Japanese style and super prune it, so there's only like a few fruits on it and they get all the nutrients. I've got a bunch of chili pepper plants that the ants love to eat, but they all grow back here. And the beginning of my pineapple plantation. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Continues, but let's see this little baby one growing. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 pineapples planted so far. A little papaya, banana, different type of banana, and 3 different types of bananas here. So close to my house, I've got a lot of things growing that I really like to eat. And I've got about a half a year's worth of pineapples growing. And these bushes, you can see, this is all dragon fruit that's just sort of naturally grown over here. Been climbing all over these bushes, and soon we'll start to produce fruits because it's getting to the shape and size where they want to start fruiting. So future visitors, we're going to have lots and lots of easy to harvest dragon fruit. I've got a little chili farm here by my pool, my potted chili plants and basil, and then the natural pond with some of the chickens foraging in the back here. So this is all part of the food forest experience here at the Jungle Temple. All right, so many of you know, I don't keep my pool as a leisure pool. I keep it as a rainwater collection station, and we use that water throughout the summer season to water all the plants and trees, so I'm not wasting any other types of water. And along the interior of my property, I've planted a line of bushes and ornamentals and actually, ayahuasca, things like this, that are actually going to start to turn and create a very trellis-like setting because they vine. And I'm going to create a tunnel here, or an archway of ayahuasca at some point very soon when they get big enough. We've got a strawberry guava, a bunch of bananas, a bunch of lemongrass. So people are welcome to try any of this stuff as they walk in. I've got another avocado growing, more varieties of bananas and turmeric and limes along the borders. And here, a little plantation of a few varieties of plantains and bananas, another avocado, another cacao, coconuts, plantain. This will be like a clementine orange. That's a chicken, a hen, I should say. And then this tour just continues, more lemongrass along the way, so people could just tear off a little bit, scrunch it up and take a nice sniff and bring some home to make some tea. The guest house, as you've seen, another avocado, ice cream bananas. As I enter the coyote forbidden zone to keep the chickens safe. We're coming up on the chicken coop. You can hear and see all the babies here. And they snuck in to grab some food. Let me change this. This one was smart enough to open the door to get in to steal some food, but they have plenty of food. Come on, let's go. Out, out. Come on, sweetie. Go, 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 go. Move that bum. Move that bum. I gotta close the door because they're so smart and strong, so I use that now. Bye, girls. Hi, girls. Bye, girls. Hello. And the end of the tour, I bring people over to the unrenovated but in progress restaurant space with some seats and some tables. We come over and grab a star fruit. You can take a bite right out of it. Oh, that one tastes really good. So when they're ripe like this, it tastes almost like a more consistency filled, like a how do you say, a denser maybe, and fruitier orange. That's why they were loving them at the tour. These are perfectly ripe right now. They would make a really good like drink, like smoothie, or just like an orange juice, like put it in a blender. I've had it served to me with oranges, but this alone would be very satisfactory. It's very sweet. Slightly acidic, but not in a face puckering way, like a refreshing way. So the star fruit, if you've never had a star fruit, they're delicious. And I'm actually getting a green one from a friend this rainy season that's like super sweet all the time. There's no acidity to it. It tastes almost like a green apple from the United States. That's what I'd say the consistency is. It's slightly less than a North American apple, but it's got like the flavor of a really good orange. So we'll finish here. I'll give a slight tutorial on ginger and turmeric and the benefits of that and how easy it is to grow tubers like that and root crops. Everybody hangs out here. At some point soon, this whole restaurant space is going to be completely renovated and very leisurely. The chickens want to get involved always over here. They're begging me for water because I got to refill their water right now. But anyway, that's the Jungle Temple tour. Thank you guys for tuning in digitally. Please check out the link below. If you're going to be visiting Costa Rica, come visit us and take this practically yourself. And all of the fruits that I've shown, plus probably 36 other species that I didn't get to show you that are always here. I'll harvest a bunch of stuff like cacao and oranges and limes and ginger and turmeric and plantains and bananas and ripen everything. I harvest a bunch of coconut meat that I share with all the guests. As water apple season comes, I'm going to have like a big bag of water apples for every guest that comes. Whatever is ripe, if there's guanabana ripe, I share guanabana, all included in the tour at no extra cost. You get all this access to food. So for example, this first tour that came, they took home probably 50 limes to like make drinks with, juices to use for cooking and food. They took home a bunch of lemongrass. They took home a bunch of cacao. They took ice cream bananas. They had oranges. They took turmeric with them. Maybe a couple pieces of ginger too. What else? What else did they have access to? Anyway, that's a lot of food, ain't it? And they were eating caimito. So yeah, they got a nice experience for the first one, even in dry season, even when things aren't fruiting a lot. So if you happen to come here when we have abundant fruit, you're probably going to have more food than you can eat here and more food that you can eat during the rest of your vacation, which, if that's the case, like all those limes that this other group took, they could leave them with the owner of the Airbnb that they stay in, with neighbors that they meet. So my whole thing is sharing this food, sharing this knowledge, and I encourage the customers and clients to do so as well. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Tobin from the Jungle Temple signing off. Please come join us on a tour here, and I will happily carry as much fruit as you can harvest over to your vehicles when you're leaving. Pura vida. These are the photos that the Airbnb photographer took of us during the tour. This is everybody walking through the property, a great group. Here is everybody checking out the manzana de agua, or water apple trees. This is me explaining the birds of paradise variations I have here. Here is us entering the banana and plantain area. I'm explaining how heavy a banana bundle can get. Here is one of the blue Java or ice cream banana bundles. And I cut it down so they could get a feel of the true weight of it to understand my work here on the property. Here I am explaining turmeric and ginger and differentiating. Here's everybody trying some cacao fruit, what chocolate's made from. This is one of the varieties of plantains I have called cuadrados. This is a star apple or caimito fruit. Here is one of the guests trying sugarcane raw for the first time. Here's a couple of the girls, the chicken ladies of the Jungle Temple. This was one of the favorites of the day, the star fruit. Here's a cool little shot of me just describing some fruits and trees during the tour. All right. So this was the video that highlighted my food forest tour experience here in Vasconia of Parita. I'm here with one of the girls, one of the ladies of the Jungle Temple, one of the egg layers, we'll say. And I just want to say it's such a great experience, and I'm super grateful to have Airbnb partnering with us here. And you know, my gratitude is through the roof. That first group that came was amazing. So if you guys happen to be watching this, thank you for coming and being the inaugural guests of the Jungle Temple Food Forest Tour here in Costa Rica. I'm really grateful for everybody involved and super excited to see who comes next. So if you guys are traveling to Costa Rica and you happen to see this video, comment below and let me know when you'd like to come visit, or check me out on my social media at the Jungle Temple on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also TikTok. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.